Devil damn it, Seely, stop running away.
Oh, she was gone for like one part. Was she even gone the last part?
I don't believe so.
She wasn't gone
I
the last
wasn't
part.
gone.
Hi, what are you talking about?
I just didn't say anything the entire time.
That is true.
Well, to be fair, she's also been busy wrapping up her gifts for the holiday season.
Well, I
Also, she's kind of like trying to take this game in because even though she owns my copy of the game, for the last 5 hours, not 5 hours, more like, I guess it's been more like 3. For the last 3 hours, it's all been blind to her because she hasn't gone past the tutorial stage yet.
Shut up.
I'll take this.
Oh, Seely, you'll get out of the frigate Orpheon unscathed next time you get around to it.
So this place is again really serene, really cool looking. It again very much reminds me of the crashed ship in Super Metroid.
In a way, yeah. Actually, going back real quick, Seely, you'll get out of the frigate Orpheon unscathed sooner or later. No Smash 4 Ultimate doesn't count.
Frigate Orpheon is in that one as well. But anyway,
I haven't played it because I've been so busy.
But this stage again is kind of upsetting because pirates are floating around. Because first of all, something I learned is I finally made to the top of this whole thing, which is hard because it's hard to tell what the platforms are. But then I realized, oh crap, I have to be looking for those things.
Oh yeah. I think for this entire place, they expect you to mostly be using the thermal visor,
which makes finding the other platforms to jump on really hard, as you've no doubt seen.
Yeah.
Because it also kind of it starts showing everything transparently because you're in thermal mode, so you start forgetting what's even in the same room as you.
And they say detective mode was the initial problem. No, it all started with the thermal visor.
And he's using. Let's go in. Oh.
Someday we should get around to actually doing that game for the channel.
Arkham Asylum?
I'd totally be up for Asylum. Like, I think of all the games, Asylum would probably be the easiest to do a full one of, because first off, it's the shortest. Second off, it's
more
not
linear.
For lack of a better, it's the most linear. Like, as much as I love City, the fact that it only has like one side mission makes it a lot easier to manage.
Right. Except for that final boss.
We'll get to that when we eventually get to it.
Just everything. It is possible, yes, for an entire game to be ruined by just one thing at the end.
Well, I wouldn't say the entire game is ruined, but I will not discredit you thinking that's a really bad finale. Seely, John, what are your experiences with the Arkham games?
I have none.
John?
That is fair.
Ditto, actually.
Well.
Oh, shoot, more of this crap.
Well, if you ever do want to play at least the first 2 Arkham games, John, I do know there is the PS4 ports.
Mm-hmm.
The hell? Oh, there we go.
From what I remember hearing, like, those ports aren't too terrible. It's just that they change the lighting in all the wrong places sometimes.
Whoops.
That's the only reoccurring complaint I've heard about. Like, I haven't heard anyone talk about like any control mishaps or whatever. Like, it's not like the Sly Collection where the controls for that. It's not like Sly Collection where it's really buggy. At least not from what I've heard anyway.
I don't remember the Sly Collection being buggy control-wise, just everything else.
Well, I just mean in general.
That's fair. Does make me wonder if Return to Arkham might ever get a Switch port sometime.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, maybe eventually. Like, actually, a part of me is thinking that maybe what they might do is actually not even just with Return to Arkham. They just might like have an Arkham bundle where they have like Asylum, City, and Origins port over to the Switch. Not sure about Night though.
That could probably work. It's just that I don't know if WB still wants to acknowledge that game exists.
Well, I don't think it was quite as big of. I think it really does have to do with like commercial, with how it does in sales. And as far as I can recall, Night did sell better than Origins.
Well, I'd hope so, considering that they essentially got the main team back on board.
I will say that. Freaking. We're talking about Arkham. That's right.
We were talking about Arkham Knight, and I think I know what you're about to get at, but I'll give you time to catch up.
Yeah, sorry, my mind's just like in like 5 different places. It's like, I think it's definitely a good direction to go. Oh, geez, more than.
Oh,
Oh, no,
Oh,
he's
dear.
he's dead.
rest in pieces.
Oh, don't worry, he's just dead. Anyway, but it's more so that just like, oh geez, it's more so that just like, I don't know, like, oh, you know what? No, I remember now what I was talking about. It had nothing to do with Arkham Knight at all. It was actually, I think it's very interesting that in this game with that whole reflectivity thing that leads to you seeing Samus's like eyes and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I love the idea that like we don't really like. Okay, this takes like a super precise bomb jump because you have to delay it like this,
Oh, Lord.
but it works. Only underwater though. Anyway, so crap. It was the fact that it probably goes unnoticed a lot of the times, but for that to work, that means that literally what's happening is that at all moments that you're playing the game, they actually have a render of Samus's face blinking and looking around 24/7. And you only see it when the screen reflects, so it can look so seamless.
Well, at the very least, this game can get away with that because during gameplay, the only thing that's there is Samus's Buster.
Right.
Like you know how it is with FPS games. Like what you see on the screen is all they really have rendered out. In reality, you're pretty much playing as nothing more than a hand with a gun.
So
Yeah.
we're going towards
Unless
a
you're playing
place,
Portal, in which case they actually go the extra mile of actually rendering the entire person.
or like with Mirror's Edge. So we're going to a place that I'd rather not go to.
But you got to anyway, cause plot.
Yep, this is one of the longest places ever, which is why I'm not going to go there yet.
Okay,
I'd
then.
rather because I'd rather open up the shortcut back.
That's fair.
Because actually, because honestly, there's not a whole lot I can do there just yet. Anyway, I need to get more artifacts. Oh jeez.
Oh boy.
Actually, no. Now I remember. You know what? Now I remember. I'm actually getting this. This is the big shortcut.
Ooh.
Opening this allows me to have access to both here and back to Talon Overworld. So now let's take the elevator to go to one of the longer and more cluttered of places in the game, the Phazon Mines.
Ooh. If we're literally
So that
going to the
people-
phase
so that-
online, then shouldn't we automatically just be dead?
So that people like hype and don't have to be all like, wait, I thought Phazon was more built on the second game. This is an entire level named after it.
Well, the reason why I say that, I just mean it's more so like, yeah, this is the game where it's introduced, but I thought it wasn't until 2 where they go like really in depth as to like, okay, this is what Phazon is, here's what it does, and so on.
So as far as this game is concerned, excuse me, pardon,
Puts
don't
me to
mind
sleep.
Just the side of this place, it's not a really fun place. A lot. Oh, hang on, we have to unlock the door. Thank you. But as far as I'm concerned, in this game, Phazon is a really bad no-no thing that allows you that it warps and corrupts living and organic. It corrupts organic material, and through that creates monsters. But it does give them great power. But the issue is that the more power they're given, they sort of start losing control of themselves and start acting more like. Honestly, it starts making people act more like a Metroid, and that they're just a blind, hungry, like predator. And so, of course, as they usually will, what was that? Well, that's just a nice force field disabled, and secondary force field disabled.
Well, that didn't
And
take long.
of course, the space pirates, as they are, decided, hey, let's go mess with this stuff, like all of it.
That's pretty much the space pirates' motto. Whenever they discover something that's pretty much dangerous to all of galactic society, they take full advantage of it, not realizing that they themselves are just as susceptible to the consequences.
And they keep killing themselves, and we keep trying to like say, no, please, just let us put this under control.
Need I remind the audience of when they tried to reverse engineer Samus's weaponry?
Yep.
And the morph ball.
Yeah, pretty much. Just
But now, I guess it is claimed that like they have sort of started reverse engineering her weapons because the doors around here all use different beam types,
pretty much, yeah.
and also begs the question of, you know what? Actually, no. Back up. Holding the heck up. How we may have already talked about this during Zero Mission, but whenever I fell down. Oh, like him. Whee! Whenever we crash land on a planet, how do we manage to find all of our exact same equipment that works just as we remember it on every planet?
Well, do you not forget that the Chozo are pretty much space-bound birds that pretty much take their equipment and overall philosophy all across the cosmos?
So then
Yeah, they're
how
basically
rare,
kinda like-
how important is a Varia suit when every planet has one?
No, I think it's kind of like how a squirrel hides its nuts.
Except, these nuts are about, like, top grade military munitions.
And you know what? Now with that analogy, now I imagine the Chozo just holding all of that equipment in their cheeks just like a squirrel with its nuts.
I mean, it makes sense. They bury them like nuts. Like in Super Metroid, you just kind of have like missile tanks just slapped into a wall, like this.
Honestly, it makes about as much sense as how.
Fine.
I mean, the whole thing about like all of Samus's equipment being on multiple planets makes about as much sense as how in the far future Dr. Light was able to construct 70 goddamn capsules just that contain upgrades for X.
True, that is true. You do
Like
get those a lot.
overcompensation much.
He was wanting to be certain.
And remember,
But, yeah.
he tried to make X into a peaceful robot.
But just in case you need help carrying
Just in
that
case
piece,
we have
here's
another
this-
Wily epidemic, I'll just lay down all these different types of armor upgrades all across the planet for you to find.
You will be the great force and great. There we go. Thank you.
Now, excuse
That's
me, as
disabled.
I inadvertently create Sigma, apparently, according to some people.
That's
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
That's crap. That's a load
Okay.
of crap.
But yeah, it's also. But no, in any case, it's also like you shall be the herald of peace. But in case anyone chooses to disagree with what you consider to be peace, here's a Hadouken.
Yeah.
Don't mind as I use the ice beam
My
to just
son
get rid of these
learned it
camouflage
from this
people.
strange tournament. I now apply it to you. Here's hoping you can meet that one same person one day in a fighting game that everyone insists we absolutely need to hate.
What?
Huh?
Forget it. So
I'm talking
don't
about
mind.
Infinite.
Oh, right.
Oh,
That.
I thought you were talking about Smash because they also. Oh no, that was X. Sorry.
Well, X is technically you can't play as X as a spirit.
Yeah. So anyway, oh, what the?
You can even upgrade to his X1 armor, which I thought was a pretty nice touch.
By the way, as you've noticed, Ice Beam plus Missile Launcher breaks combat in this game. But
Yep.
now we have an issue. The Phazon, as they've been experimenting with it, they've now been able to create space pirates infused with our beam types.
Yep. So now we pretty much have the puzzle fights where you have to figure out what beams to use on what enemy.
They all have their own unique. Now, unfortunately, at least 2 of the 3 types all have like. These fights just take forever because with the wave pirates,
The most
As you can
hardcore
tell,
game
the wave-
of rock, paper, scissors.
the wave bandits, the wave pirates, the wave beam is the best way to go with them. And unfortunately, that means just using a bunch of charge shots and stun locking them because that's really all we can do. And so
Also,
it
real
kinda
quick,
takes a while.
you stammer back and forth between bandits and pirates. Are they really that much different from each other?
Not really.
I guess not. Just one's more aggressive than the other. And what's wrong with this? Oh crap! I need a new weapon for that.
Nuts.
I'm not gonna get that for a while. Anyway, Seely, what's your least favorite kind of level in a video game? Like just like, because for me it's kind of like this area, and like even just looking at like at the environment and the just even
You're
looking
just
at
not
it,
a big fan of greeny
happy.
factories.
So
Yeah.
for some people it's water levels, for some people it's sewer levels.
Yeah, that's kind of what I hate. Sewer levels.
Whoa.
Alright.
Okay, they're dead. Anyone else
Scary,
want one?
kind of scary theme levels too. Like for example, my least favorite dungeon, Ocarina of Time, is Shadow Temple.
Really?
I do recall that dungeon being a bit of a drag.
Yeah. What
I
say
mean,
Hey.
you, Joe?
I'm
Oh,
one
sorry.
who is actually okay with Water Temple. At first, I didn't really understand why people hated it so much.
Oh, the water temple? I mean, well, the only real problem with it is just that it's just a whole bunch of back and forth with the pause menu.
Yeah,
These
that's true.
embryos were disastrous. The
Which
Phazon
thankfully
But
they
they-
fixed
they
with
fixed
the
that,
3DS
yeah,
remake.
that's what
Yeah,
I
they
was
fixed it with the
saying.
3DS remake. I mean, it still kind of dragged a bit, but not quite as badly as the original.
Yeah.
It suffered severe
But I guess
psychotic
But
breakdowns.
I
Anything to
will
do with
say
perception.
that my least favorite dungeon in, say, Twilight Princess is Lakebed Temple.
Yeah, that one sucked.
Yeah, that one really sucked. If Water Temple was bad, you'd hate Lakebed Temple.
Yeah, aside from being long, it's also at times it can also feel cryptic.
Not
Oh,
only
boy.
that, but you could get really confused in where you're going. I'm like, wait, I'm in the wrong room. Oh, I need to go upstairs. Oh, I need to turn the stairway. Oh,
What's
I
this
need to go
say?
downstairs. Ah, I need to
there
turn
we
the
go.
stairway again.
So,
So, I
Elite,
guess-
so so that bit of lore there just introduced to us that they've been successfully able to fuse Phazon. Okay, sorry. So Phazon is not involved with the elemental pirates. That's just them successfully being able to reverse engineer our technology against us. They have blast shields. They have begun creating Phazon infused space pirates though with a strand of Phazon that's been working for them called Vertigo to create what they call elite pirates, which are basically Hulk pirates.
Oh boy.
Go.
Just going back to a previous question, John, do you have any
Uh-oh.
levels from a game that you would consider your least favorite part of said game?
I don't really have any really bad levels that I don't really have any levels that I don't mind playing. I will say one of my least favorite temples, if I have to have a least
Power
favorite
Bandits.
temple, I'm going with Sealy, but I'm going with Sealy's choice of the water
Die.
of the Lakebed Temple. But my reason isn't it's not the fact that it's like a bad temple design, because it's far from a bad temple design. My only problem with that temple is that compared to some of the other temples in the game, the Lakebed Temple takes about a decade and a half to get through sometimes.
Yes, exactly.
You know, like you go through, I think it's the City in the Sky. The City in the Sky is
Oh, I hated that one too.
yeah, City in the Sky is not that terrible of a dungeon, and you know, like you can kind of forgive it because it's not too long of a temple. When you go to when you go to Lakebed though, it's like you have to deal you deal with a lot of the same mechanics for so long that you just start getting from my experience of it, you get bored of it.
Not really bored as much as it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Which can eventually lead
Although
to
the
boredom.
one saving grace of Lakebed Temple was the mini boss, the Deku Toad.
Yeah.
Which is silly looking.
It was really.
Toad.
I remember I first saw that thing. I had to actually quit playing because I was laughing for a solid 10 minutes.
Wow.
Of all things that game would inspire was laughter.
Well, I was
It's
just
not
more
very-
so
it's
laughing
not-
at the.
it's-
I was more so laughing at the idea of Deku Toad. It's like Detroit Smash.
It's honestly not a very funny game. It's more of a serious tone game for a lot of it.
Well,
And then
yeah.
you hear the Deku Toad making sounds like.
I was gonna say the postman going going nuts.
Oh, fucking
Oh yeah, and
Ow!
Ooh, boy.
How he-
Ow! 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 Ow!
and I could see that they tried to give him a strong chin, but it just looks silly.
Before we leave the topic, what is your thoughts on the idea of a least favorite level from a game, James?
Honestly, for me, it's a very case-by-case basis.
Nice.
But, I mean, I guess going back to Twilight Princess for a bit, from, like, the half of it that I was able to play before I got bored, I'd say, yeah, Lakebed Temple. Again, it's so fucking dull, and at times it's a little too... I remember spending, like, a good 10 to 20 minutes trying to figure out how just to get past, like, the first portion or so of the dungeon.
Yeah, and for me, no matter how many times I play the game, I always get confused.
Well, also just to reiterate, James, we're not talking about like just Zelda or just Metroid. We just mean like any game in general.
Again, it's a case by case basis because if I can find one ice level that I fucking hate, I can also find another ice level that I think is actually pretty good, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So like say a sewer level or a water level, just
And I hate to keep using this as an example, but I really liked what they did with the mansion in Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
It was a unique idea for a dungeon.
Yeah,
And the-
yeah.
And the boss too. It's actually one of the. I think it was one of the first times you fought someone who was possessed.
oh hello.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Careful.
yeah.
Well, you say that, didn't you? Well, you say that technically, Sealy, technically, weren't you technically fighting someone who's possessed as the big mid boss, or I guess the ultimate final boss in Spirit Temple?
I forgot. Wait, what? Spirit Temple? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, but she wasn't a boss. She wasn't like a big boss.
Oh, well then okay. Then what was the other one that you were thinking I was about to correct you with? And we'll just pretend that was what I was about to say.
Don Goron or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Or Fyrus. That was
There's the crater. That is the impact crater that we're gonna be going there at the very end of the game. But that is the impact crater where the meteorite containing Phazon landed here.
Interesting.
And Phazon entered the planet's core. But
We probably could just break the glass to that elevator and just go into the impact crater.
It would help so much.
Say
But
screw
honestly,
all
I
of
don't
the
think we'd be
artifacts.
ready. But we would not be ready because we still are lacking one big beam. So join us next time. We're going to be continuing more into the Phazon mines. We're actually getting close to the end game in terms of exploring exploring locations. Then it just comes down to a big grind for artifacts.
Pretty much.
That'll be fun.
Bye, everybody.
Till next time.